What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? How everybody doing tonight? Yeah. This one hurt. This one hurt, man. You know what I'm saying? Um, sitting in this sitting in this seat again, man. You know what I'm saying? Uh One of our elite put together teams. You know what I'm saying? Too many times Minnesota has had teams with, you know, amazing rosters. You know what I mean? And just to come through with such a huge year. You know what I'm saying? You know, it is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? But this one hurt right here, man. This one hurt right here, bro. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's weird, right? Because you got to come at it like, you know what I'm saying? Shit, like a true Minnesota fan. This is what the fuck we do. You know what I'm saying? It's my late show, so excuse the language. Hope the kids are in bed by now. Most of these little knuckleheads probably ain't. You know what I'm saying? But hey, they understand that language too. Everybody do. It's shit now, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we understand this, man. Like, we can't break this, man. We can't break this. The ladies been breaking it. The ladies be balling. The ladies, the Lynx be doing their thing. T Wolves, man. You know what I'm saying? We didn't been right there, man. Like what Everest? Do they got like a spot on Everest where everybody going to, but everybody else like the top? That's what the fuck we doing. Saying bullshit, man. You know what I'm saying? And it be just like, for me, it really is the same stuff, right? That's for me. For me personally, it's the same thing, right? It's repeated behavior, right? I felt like last year, this time, Ant wasn't stepping up, right? In clutch times, period. I'm gonna call it what it is. You know how I do, right? Ant wasn't stepping up. You know what I'm saying? He was deferring a lot last year, right? I feel like this year, um, it was a little bit of that still, but I think a lot of what he was doing was forced. I felt like he didn't play off the vibe that was going on. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's times where, um, because they picking him up for this. Come on, this Ant Man. This is what I don't get about these young dudes, right? You Ant Man. You know what I'm saying? You got the moniker. They've given it to you. They've given you when you get a nickname. I know I be talking crazy sometimes. I do. When you get a nickname in the NBA, that's official stamp, bro. When you get a nickname in the NBA, that's official stamp. When NBA players call you by that name, that nickname, that's an official stamp. So you Ant Man. You know what I'm saying? Like, they picking you up full, bro. They picking you up 94 feet, boy. They got Dort picking you up 94 feet, boy. Right? So there's a couple times where he's picking you up 94 feet, and whoever's bringing the ball up is bringing it up, trying to get it to you to run the offense, right? Which I get it. He's supposed to be running the offense through him, but shit, nigga, go through. Nigga. What's Steph gonna do? What's Steph gonna do? Steph gonna say, all right, bet you're not gonna give me the ball because you pressure me too much. So bam, I'm gonna go down here to this corner. Boom, I'm gonna go off of this screen right here through the paint. Boom, I'm gonna come back out to this corner. Boom, I'm gonna go back and do another screen. I'm gonna do a little floopty woo. Boom, I'm gonna come running up out of this little double screen right here to the three and pop you. Right? That's what he do. So that's kind of how your moves has to be now. It can't be, okay, give me the ball. I got to do something. It's got to be, okay, let me make the right decision. That's what it has to start moving into because you Ant-Man now. You ain't a regular dude. Matter of fact, I was riding with my son talking about my son about this. You know what I'm saying? You got to get to a point where you recognize that you're not a regular dude. You know what I'm saying? So you can't do regular dude shit. Ant-Man, you at that point in life. They've officially called you that. That's your name. That's who you is now. You know what I'm saying? That's your character. So you got to perform to the top. You know what I mean? And I love you, but man, shit, dog. Shit. Did you dunk on anybody this series? Like really just dunk on somebody this series. Right? So I mean, you know what I'm saying? It may become harsh because I've learned in my life things I say come on, but it's some real shit. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? It's all right, though. 24, 23, 24. What we talking about, right? You know what I'm saying? You 24. You a college graduate. You know what I mean? And you got the whole world, you got the whole NBA in your hands. So, you know what I'm saying? We good. I'm just throwing out a suggestion, you know what I mean, as what to get ready for, what get the training, you know what I'm saying, as far as mental. I tell people this all the time. I tell my young kids, that's why I want them to get it when they're young. The game is 10% physical, 90% mental, right? And as long as you can get that mind right, because you got the physical attributes, man. You got every physical attribute anybody could need, right? They compare your body and frame to who, right? So they comparing your body and frame to him. Now you know what I'm saying? Now it's trying to take over, right? Randall. What was you doing? What was you doing, man? Randall. So let me get this right. In the first quarter, I think you might have turned the ball over like 3 times. And I still felt there was a lot of bully ball going on. And I think you were playing into the defense. One thing that I've learned is to recognize when a team is collapsing the paint. And the only way to get them to uncollapse that paint is to drive and kick and hit shots. I feel like one of the worst things you can do is drive, try to force up something, it doesn't work, and then try to force out a pass. I think that's the worst thing you can do, because what you do is you put your teammates that are, you know what I'm saying, open and waiting for a pass in a different position than they were when you first went in, right? So they're basically getting a pass off a last second throw out, or maybe like shot clock down, you know what I'm saying, to the last second or whatever. They got to get something off, right? There's no fluidity, and I use that word a lot. There's no fluidity in the way that they're spotting up and getting to a spot to catch a pass and shoot, because you're not driving to kick. And this is what I try to tell young people this. And I know the way that I'm coming in is a little bit different than everybody, because everybody's offensive based scoring, right? And I try to teach, when I coach, what I try to teach is to drive with the mentality to pass first. If the lane opens up, or if you can see that nobody's closing and you got a guy on you that you can take, commence to go into the basket and get your bucket. But drive with the intent that, especially when you get up to the junior varsity level, is where defensive specialists start to come out, right? So if you could drive with the intent to pass first, you're already expecting some help from somewhere. Bam. So your mind is already on pass. So it's already, all right, bam, I see him. They're in spots. They're ready to go. They're ready to shoot. All I got to do is drive and get it to them. No help comes. It's just me and this dude one-on-one. I guess a bucket. You know what I'm saying? That's a bucket. One-on-one. Shoot. That's how real. Hey, me as a real hooper, this is what I'm trying to tell Julius Randle. You say as a hooper, you get buckets, right? So you know if you go one-on-one, you good. But if it ain't one-on-one, look, see if they help. Kick out. There was one time, it was like 3-4 dudes. I think I put a post up. There was like 3-4 dudes just standing there with their hands straight up. Like this. I think it was DiVincenzo in the corner. And I'm like, you should when you drove into it. It wasn't like you got the ball, whatever, and they collapsed. It was like you drove in, you had a guy on you and you drove, and another guy was basically cheating off of DiVincenzo on the baseline, came over there to you. Another guy came from the opposite side, came over there, and there was no kick out. You know what I'm saying? See, if you would this, my point was made right there on that play. If you would have took that one dribble with the intent to pass, if you already knew in your head, I'm about to pass the ball, you take that one dribble, all two of those extra guys collapse. Now you got a guy there in the corner right on your side, or you got a little wraparound, you know what I'm saying, to a guy on the opposite corner. But both of them are ready to go because their men are already cheating all the way over there to you in the paint. Wide open thrizzle. I'm just throwing this stuff out, man. Y'all can listen to this if you want to. You know what I'm saying? If you do, blessings. If you don't, wasn't even meant for you. You know what I'm saying? But for real, disappointing is probably far gone for me personally, because that part, you got a brain, two sides, right? So that part that's back there that has the expectations of us losing is back there. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, Minnesota. I don't never ride with that. You know what I'm saying? But the let me down makes me say, yeah, this is what we do. This is what we do. And we got to change this culture, man. We got to change this culture. We got to remember what it was like to win, right? We got to remember that. People are trying to take that away from me, these kids. You know what I'm saying? And it's in our pros too. We gotta remember what it's like to win. I was just talking about this with a guy the other day too. He was like, "Yo, what? The LA Lakers?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Ain't no lakes in California." I said, "Oh God, ain't no lakes in Cali, player." You know what I'm saying? They're the Minneapolis Lakers, boy. We gotta remember what it was like to win, man. You know what I'm saying? We got to get our communities and we got to get our people back to remember what it's like to win, man. Kirby Puckett, man. You know what I'm saying? Kent Herbeck. Who don't know the names? Who don't know them names? Who don't know them names? Right? You know what I'm saying? I'm just throwing this stuff out, man. You know what I'm saying? And Ant-Man is supposed to be at that, right? Julius Randle. And I've spoken positively, man, highly of you for the last 2 months. I think great of your game. I just think that sometimes you got to understand when to pass, right? That's what it is. I've had conversations with young kids about this. I talk about this whenever I'm coaching. You know what I'm saying? I let kids know they got to learn when to pass. And that's not to say people aren't passers. People don't know how to pass, right? Everybody knows how to pass. I mean, I've seen drills and stuff where people pass the ball, you know, you know how to pass. But I think what makes like point guards, right, good at being able to pass the ball is that the whole point is to know when to pass the ball. Right? Because there's always a time to pass the ball, especially, like I said, once you get up to the point where starting in probably junior varsity when they got defensive specialists. Now you got to learn when to pass the ball because you got guys that are specialized in playing defense, guarding you, the way you guard, the way you shoot, guarding multiple guys, help defense. They're better at it. So now you got to learn, okay, even so to control when that time to pass is. Like I said, making a dribble from Julius Randle, making a dribble, bam, sinking in the D, kicking it out. Oh man, just really the game was over in the first quarter, man. I was trying to think of a time. The game was over in the first quarter, man. Like it was straight over in the first quarter. We had 9. It was up 20, man. That was bad. First quarter to a team like that. Shoot. Our defense would have had to be like superb, man. It would have had to be superb, man. And I wouldn't, man. Yeah, man. It was all bad, man. That's all it was, man. Just a bad basketball for us, man. Bad shot selection, turnovers, 14 turnovers in the first half. Man, it was just all bad, man. You know what I'm saying? It was just bad basketball, dude. Forcing up shots, um, bad passes, going to the basket on multiple people. Um, Nobody in the paint for rebounds. You know what I'm saying? No ball movement, stagnant. That was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because we haven't been playing. That's crazy though, because we haven't been playing like that all season. But that's to give props to. We got to give props to the SGA and them. Them dudes can play some motherfucking defense. I mean, we saw and we know what they could do on offense. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Chet, you know what I'm saying? From, you know what I'm saying, the soda. We know how we do. You know what I'm saying? So he got loose. Like, that's what they do. So we know, you know what I'm saying, what they could do offensively, especially, but the defensive side of the ball, man, they were really um they were everywhere. They were everywhere. But that's why I say and I suggest you got to start controlling um the way the defense responds. You know what I'm saying? So um it was just a bad version of our offensive side of the ball. Defensively too, defensively was probably equally as bad. Usually, you probably have a bad offensive night, but hopefully your defense can pick it up. But yeah, tonight it was both sides of the ball, man. Just lackluster defense, man. It was like they were just over, man. And it showed, as you can see in the score. I love the series though. The series was nice. You know what I'm saying? It was a bang out series to today's game. I mean, last game, the game before when we smashed them. You know what I'm saying? But it was in Minnesota. It was our house. You know what I'm saying? That was what we do. And all the other games, you know what I'm saying, were pretty much winnable too. But right here, man. Gotta take this one right there, man. That hurt, man. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, whatever. So shout out to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Great season. Um, you know what I'm saying? Come back next year. I'm sure they'll make a couple of moves. I think pretty much everybody might be solidified, I think. At least for one more year. So, and I mean, if we don't make too many moves and take too many of these guys up out of there, then um, I think we can make another run at it. You know what I'm saying? Fix and clean up some of those things, you know what I'm saying, I was suggesting about maybe, you know what I'm saying? And do the damn thing again next year. You know what I'm saying? So Minnesota Timberwolves. See ya. Enjoy yourselves. All right, babe, man. Look real quick, man. Little flip the script real quick, switch it up real quick. Um, get on the main topic of the evening. I'm gonna flow with this tonight. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? My mind's a little bit shaken up because of the way the T Wolves let a brother down. But anyway, as I told you, I let it go a little bit ago, but I'm back with it. Telling you, it's off. But tonight's topic is uh just daily affirmations. You know what I'm saying? Just something that goes on in my head, man. You know what I'm saying? Inside my mind. Just kind of throw it out there to you guys, see what crackulates. You know what I'm saying? That's what the great thing about this vessel, this medium that we use today. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna talk about timelines and realms. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit, little brief, you know what I mean? A little brief. Just gonna talk a little bit crazy. You can stay with me, you know what I'm saying? Listen to me, blessings. And if you don't, it wasn't meant for you. It just wasn't meant for you. I'm sorry. It's all good though. Oh man. So look, so as far as like um timelines, right? Um Everyone has one. Everybody has a timeline, right? But the thing about it is um you have multiple variations of that timeline. You know what I'm saying? And really every time you make a decision, a major decision, I would think so, right? This is I'm testing, proving all the way till the day I die. I won't know until the day I die, right? But so every day that you make a major decision, you adjust or move the timeline, or ironically, you stay on the main timeline. When you make moves and choices or whatever like that, and you make different choices than that main timeline, you end up forming a break. You know what I'm saying? And then you make a different timeline. And then sometimes those choices that are made, those major choices aren't even made by you, right? So like, you know what I'm saying? The way you're birthed, type of environment you're birthed in, you know what I'm saying? Some of those type of things, right? But what that does is it forms different timelines from the main timeline. I think a lot of times, a lot of people also with this begin to one day try to fight to get back to that main timeline. You know what I'm saying? Without unconsciously knowing, right? You know what I'm saying? Not actually knowing that I got to get back to my main timeline, because a lot of people don't think in that type of philosophy. But so you have those people that end up trying to get back to that main timeline, right? Or you even have people that go off into a timeline and they enjoy whatever that new timeline is. And a lot of those things happen when you have those major decisions in your life, right? I mean, marriage, right? Like we talk about, man, everything. I tell people all the time, man, everything I say comes right back in full circle, right? So marriage, right? You have a relationship with someone. What's that? That's two different people's timeline. Interjecting with each other, right? You know what I'm saying? And they become, matter of fact, what happens in that particular case, they become one timeline. You know what I'm saying? Because theirs formed together, they formed a unit. That's what marriage is, really, right? The piece of paper and all the antics and all the money y'all spend is just on exposure shit, right? Commercial shit. But really, it's just the two joining. What does it say? Two entities becoming one. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, every major decision, I don't think it's like little dumb decisions, like if you're gonna pick up a rock or something like that. But every major decision makes an alteration in the timeline, and the people that have that just have prophets have an ability to kind of make sure that they stay within on that timeline. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of that, I think Gandhi, you know what I'm saying, as a person that probably stayed on his timeline, probably was rough in the beginning, but once he got back to it, I think he stayed on it because he was able to meditate. You know what I'm saying? He was able to stop, pause, reflect, and at a moment where it becomes the right decision or the wrong decision, being clear-minded enough to be able to make the right decision. And timelines are like, there's many of them, right? And there's many of them for every one of us, right? And that's why there's so much interaction, you know what I'm saying? Because everyone's timeline. But if you take a look at it like I'm speaking on, think about how many people have come into your life, and they come into your life for a period of time and then they're gone, right? They're off into their own timeline, right? Because their timeline, just yours and theirs, just needed to cross each other for that period of time. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's very easy for a lot of timelines to gel for each other, but it's very rare that they all stay together, right? You know what I'm saying? That's why the whole yin and yang, full circle of man and woman becoming one timeline together and becoming that one specific timeline for each other, right? And working together and becoming one timeline. I don't know if you guys ever watched Loki. If you watched Loki, you know what I'm saying? Mess with it. It's I like it. You know what I'm saying? I like his little show though. You know what I'm saying? That's my whole fantasy mind twisted stuff, right? But that was the one thing about that show, was that he had to go fix everybody's timelines, right? You know what I'm saying? He had to go make sure everything was good because the timelines were going out of whack. People were going back and forth through time. They was coming back. Now this is all, you know what I'm saying, fantasy stuff, or is it? This is not for this is only for my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So hope he coming showing up at the crib, right? I'm just talking crazy, right? But that's the thing about the show Loki was it was showing that how wrinkles in time happen, right? However they happen, right? People decide to do something different than that for the original timeline had them doing something, and then they changed the course of that timeline and move, right? And then uh once that happens too many times, once there's too many ripples or huge ripples, um, it messes up the time for everybody. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the whole pretense of what Loki show was talking about, and he had to be the one to go and fix it. You know, which at the end he was the one that he grabbed all of them. You know what I'm saying? And used his power to make sure that they all, you know what I'm saying, were able to function well enough that everyone stayed on their timeline. You know what I'm saying? To fix all the problems and the nuances. And I think that's what a lot of times we need to do. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I preach and talk what I talk about with, you know, positivity, love, and just having better communication with each other. Because I think that all of our timelines can be move perfectly in the direction that they're supposed to move, and everyone can stay as close accordingly to the timeline that was meant for them, um because we're all taking care of each other, you know what I'm saying, and we'd all be better off. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't have to choose different timelines, you wouldn't have to choose different major decisions in your life than what you really should be doing, because everything and everybody is doing what they're supposed to be doing. So but then timelines also, my second thing is realms, right? I don't know if y'all know anything about that. I told y'all, you know what I'm saying, I'm a little bit, you know, whatever tonight, but we're gonna talk a little bit about it. Y'all know what realms is, right? You know what I'm saying? I think timelines and realms kind of go together because I mean realms is like so realms is like it's difficult to explain, but I can tell you what it feels like, right? So what it feels like is people living on different planes. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, right. So I talked to, you know what I'm saying, some of my guys. I was supposed to be working on a project with someone. I'm still suggesting it and see if we can get it back in the conversation stage. But I was talking about a documentary about the brothers of professional athletes, right? Because and the reason why it was easy to come up with the concept and think that, you know what I'm saying, was a great idea is because you live a different life. You know what I'm saying? It's a different timeline, right? I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying this stuff, man. If you listen to me, blessings. If you don't, it ain't meant for you. You know what I'm saying? But so, you know what I'm saying? Because I've told, matter of fact, I've touched on this before, right? You get a call, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like my brother chilling, like, what up, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, man, being alert, chilling, you know what I'm saying? Yo, I'm at the game tonight, you know what I'm saying? I'm playing tonight against the, you know what I'm saying, against the Knicks, you know what I'm saying? Over at the Phoenix Arena, you know what I'm saying? Larry got the suite on deck. He said, come through. I said, what? Man, it's Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, it's Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? So that nigga, I'm gonna send the jet for you. What up, Tyler? I said, what up, Larry? What up, nigga? What up, brother? You know what I'm saying? Hey, cuz, what's going on? You coming up, get to the jet for you. Nah, I gotta work tomorrow. Different realms, right? Different realms, man. Different timelines, man. So they're real. So that's the feeling of, if you can feel how I kind of put that story, that's the feeling of being on a different realm. Like I don't do like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, but that's how those guys live, right? One thing about they're very last minute. Pro athletes are very last minute, right? Now, I was specifically talking about pro athletes, but the reason why is I'm talking about people that have that kind of access, mainly financially, right? So they live on different planes. So why wouldn't you think that like all these big stars, these big movie stars who, you know what I'm saying, who have, you know what I mean, like hundreds hundreds of thousands times what some of the guys that I kicked it with have. And those guys that I kicked it with that have at least what they have, kick it. They live on a different realm. They live a different life. Their world moves a little bit different. So, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to speak on just the money thing, but that is an X factor to another realm, right? It's an X factor to a different timeline. It's an X factor into a different lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? It's not always great. It's not always better. You know what I'm saying? But it's a different way of living. You know what I'm saying? I try to get this across a lot of times when it comes to young people listening to pro athletes and how they talk, watching how they move, young artists listening to how these rappers and artists talk in their music and glorify the things that they glorify. I try to help the young kid understand that they glorify that while they're rich and making all this money. You know what I'm saying? Like they can live and work that lifestyle because that's, you know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of young people get in trouble because they try to do the same lifestyle that they hear on the videos and all that. They try to live on that realm, and then, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't correlate. You know what I'm saying? So you back living, trying to figure it out, right? Because like I said, that's a different realm. You know what I mean? And the vocabulary that I'm putting it in is trying to put it in a context for, you know what I'm saying, people that may not understand that kind of language, right? I mean, it even goes to the whole ideal of manifesting, right? People have been able to take themselves into another realm that may not have been available to them if they had chose different choices in their life that led them on a different timeline. So now they have access to that realm because of their mental fortitude to be able to create the things that they, you know what I'm saying, dreamed about. They became expectations for them to get, and then they achieved it. You know what I'm saying? So those people just mentally, you know what I'm saying, live on a different realm. They move, you know what I'm saying, in a way that's a lot more confident. You know what I'm saying? So nothing negative brings them down. They don't even see negativity. You know what I'm saying? They just keep rolling too, you know what I'm saying? You know, and you know, sometimes those people have a different way of moving through the world. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you already know what I'm talking about. Confident people move through the world a little bit different, right? So that's another realm. I mean, money wise, is one way to get to another realm. Live in it, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Like, if you listen to what I'm saying, right? Think I might be talking crazy, but listen, somebody make $250 million. Somebody make $75 billion. What the hell are they doing every day? Different realms, man. You know what I'm saying? Because otherwise you'd see them. Yeah, I don't see them. You know what I'm saying? Every once in a while you see a picture and be like, oh, snap, what the heck? But popped up, look different. What the hell going on? Where they at? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. That's a different realm, man. I'm just trying to tell you because you know what I'm saying? Like, hey. I mean, look, P. Diddy trial. Think I'm not talking about realms, man. Yeah, it might be a freaky realm. That's another way. That's another way of getting into one of them realms is to be the little freaky people. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Be doing all that cult, man. But them, please do not. I'm laughing about those things, man. But please don't take those things lightly or softly just because I'm comedic about it. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. Matter of fact, my motherfucking my laughter, you know what I'm saying, is my defense mechanism. So don't take anything that I'm saying personal right now. But at the same time, let's call it what it is, man. Them realms you don't want to be on. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, that's a choice. Timelines and realm. That's a choice right there. Do you want to engage into something like that? That's a major life. That's what I just said. Everything I say turns right back around. That's what I just said. So like something like that. Hey, do you want to come to the party? Major life right? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And in two ways than one. Get your booty smashed out. You know what I'm saying? Get a whole bunch of money, or go back to life as was. You know what I'm saying? Which one you gonna do, right? And most of them dudes was like, yo, I'm following the money. Go ahead. Go ahead, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, my job is just to spit a little game to you guys, man. Tell you some of the things that I know. You know what I'm saying? And one of those things that I know is that when it comes to us living on this earth, is we have to educate ourselves and find education within everything that you can, because everything is basically diluted from the original. Everything is diluted from all the stuff that we're hearing from everybody. Every different thing is something diluted from what the original thing is. That nobody wants to tell what the original thing is. Problem is now it's going to start coming out because people are more inquisitive now. As a people, we're more stronger about. Nah, we want to know this, and so you know what I'm saying. I think that we'll finally discover what the essence of our life is and purpose, and that comes with understanding the timeline that you're on and what was your timeline built for, what was your purpose, and then going and serving that, and then figuring out these realms, man, figuring out these different also we talk in dimensions, right? People have talked in dimensions. I know some people know about this stuff, right? This is like, you know what I mean? This is like it's a lot, man. It's a lot to talk to y'all about. That's one of the reasons why I'm putting the show together, because I got a lot to talk to y'all about. But realms and timelines, when you mix them, they become basically dimensions. I think the whole point of life is time. See how long it just took me to say that sentence? I controlled your attention just on that, right? Anybody that's watching, I don't know who's watching, but timeline and realms are all affixed to the word time. Time is everything. Time is everything. That's what all the rich people in the world understood. Time is everything, people. It's everything. If you understand time, you understand the key, right? And timelines and realms mixed together with dimensions. Okay. And so that's why y'all do y'all watch superhero movies? They be telling y'all, dude was telling y'all, Stan been telling us for a long time, bro. Stan been telling us for a long time, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta understand, man, like, just your boy, okay, your boys, I'm gonna show you one of the illest. I'm gonna talk about it and I'll show you. I wish I could. This is live. I don't have it queued up, but I'm gonna get better at that. But old boy in the movie said it the best line in the movie. Probably nobody knows it as the best line in the movie. Probably don't even know. They was laying there beat up. Your boy told him, he said, man, look, man, I done seen 1 million versions. Doctor Strange, yes, Doctor Strange. He was like, yo, I done seen about 1 million of these. Man, do y'all watch these superhero movies, man, at all? Y'all just be watching them and watching the colorful outfits and the webs and spraying around and the lasers and green people punching people, huh? Y'all be paying attention to what Stan Lee be trying to say? Hey, he a white guy, but do y'all understand what he be trying to say? He got some knowledge. He live on another realm. But no, so you know what I'm saying? My man said, man, 1 million, man. A million, dog. He said, I've seen a million variations, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. That's a crazy time, man. That's a crazy essence of time and how time works. He was able to go through a million things in no less than a millisecond. Why do you think everything in court is affixed to time? Why do you think they always say, well, what you're doing, or excuse me, what you did, or excuse me, what we accuse you of, is punishable by $200 fine or 20 days in jail? Time, brother. Y'all ever see that movie where the dude walking around with the little thing? You know, they had the numbers on them and shit. If they wanted to buy something, they use the little numbers. Time, man. Some of these movies tell y'all something, man. They tell you something, man. Time is the illest shit ever. Why you think people be snitching on people with the police? Why you think they always come in there and be like, yo, you gonna tell us what's happened? We're gonna give you life. We're gonna take all, just like that movie. It's just like that movie. It's just like that movie. And if we do got microchips in us, it is that movie. You know what I'm saying? But hey, man, this is just my opinion stuff, right? I'm just flipping out, man. I was a little big, better go. You know, I'm not talking about. I ain't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying though, man. But no, for real though, you gotta pay attention to the timeline you're on. You have to understand, you know what I'm saying, when you make the wrong moves into the timelines and you go into a different timeline, it is what it's 50-50, right? That you could be, you don't know. I mean, if you're a prophet, you know, but if you don't know, you're just gonna be like, okay, well, either it's gonna go this way or it's gonna go that way. You know, and then once you break the timeline, now you get to another point where you got to make another decision. That decision can bring you back to that timeline, or it could bring you to another place, or it could bring you somewhere else. But you've already broken off the main. So, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. I just be talking crazy, man. Mind your P's, mind your Q's. Figure out your timeline. Figure out your purpose in life, people. Figure out your purpose in life, man, and go full force with it. Manifest that shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just understand what life is about. Understand how important time is. It's one of the most important things. A lot of times that, you know what I'm saying, people they have hard lives, and sometimes it's because they choose the wrong decision on major decisions, and it's very difficult to get back to that main timeline for them. But like I said, if we start and always show love and have better communication with each other, we can have easier times, you know, getting back to our main timeline. You know what I'm saying? But do what you got to do out here, people, man. It's much love. You know what I'm saying? And just make sure that you understand that, like I said, man, how important time is, man. Don't waste it. You know what I'm saying? Don't waste it. Please don't waste it, man. Don't waste it on hate. Don't waste it on it negative things. You know what I'm saying? And don't be pessimistic in life, man. Keep pushing. Keep doing what you got to do. Keep staying the course. And keep that love. I'm out tonight, man. I'm finna go to sleep, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired, man. This team pissed me off tonight. So much love for y'all.